Welcome to Let's Do Yoga with Joanne, and I'm Joanne. I'm so glad you could join me today. If you ever find yourself in a pose that is causing you pain, then back out of it or modify it by shortening it up somehow. And I'll, explain to you some ways as we go along. Or just join us in the next pose or exercise that we're doing, okay? So today we really want to try and do a full body joint movement so that we can keep those joints as flexible as possible. And let's start with a lung exercise. So it'll be a slow inhale and then a jerky kind of exhale. So it'll be kind of like, okay? So let's see how we do. Inhale nice and slow. Let's have 3 jerky exhales. So, and then just take a normal breath so we don't get lightheaded. A nice slow inhale. 4 jerky exhales. And then a normal breath. So you're really trying to make a movement in that lower lung. It feels like your belly is really jerking. That's the kind of action you want. So let's try it again. Inhale. We'll go for 5 exhales. And 5 jerky exhales. Awesome. We'll stop there. So we'll take a neck movement. I call it turtle neck, and I know there's a better name for it, but I couldn't find it. So really what you're doing, so let's say you put your thumb here and your pointer finger on your chin. That's about where you normally hold your chin. We want to pull that chin all the way back in so that you now have a double, triple chin. That's what we want to see, okay? And then just take that chin all the way back out again like a turtle would coming out of its shell. Bring it back in. Really trying to tuck hard, and then take it back out. So that's straightforward. Let's take it to a 45-degree angle. So I'm just going to move my chin so that I'm looking more, not to the side, but between the side and the front at a 45 degree. And then I'm going to bring that chin in as far as I can and take it out as far as I can. Bring it in and take it out. Let's just do that again. Bring it in and take it out. Coming through neutral, which is straightforward, taking it to that 45 degree on the other side. Tucking in the chin, bringing it in, and then the turtle pokes its head out. Bringing it in, and taking it back out. Let's just do one more. Bringing it in, and taking it all the way out. Bringing your face forward into the neutral position. So open up wide, really open up until you can feel in your chest and in the front of those shoulders. So for some of you, a shoulder might not want to make that full open movement, and you're just going to have to stop wherever it makes you stop. Bring those hands together, and I've got my right hand over my left, and I'm going to cross. See how far I can take that cross. And then open it up again. Now I'm going to cross with the other hand on top. So the other hand is going to come on top. Take it as far as you can. Just open it up. We'll repeat that set. Open it up as far as you can. Right hand is on top. And then open it up as far as you can. And let's get that left hand on top. So the left hand goes on top. And you can release that down. Shake that out a little. Bring those hands up to the shoulder height. So just have a look. Can you get your elbows and everything, like the shoulder, the upper arm, the elbow, are they in line, or is it kind of like that? Try and get them in line. Once you have them in line, trying to keep all of that straight, can you bend to the side? Without dipping one or dipping the other. So you're bending to the side, and it's not easy, and you can't go very far because you start to feel insecure, and then come back up. And take it to the other side. So you're focusing on those shoulders, but you're also focusing on trying to take a side bend and come back up. So now that you know your shoulders are going to be okay, take your side bend, and can you feel that opposite side, that there's space developing between the ribs, between each rib? Come into neutral. See if you can feel it on this side. So because you're not hanging on to the side of the chair, your core is actually working quite hard, and your obliques are working quite hard as well. It's not easy to tip to the side because your security feels right away, you feel insecure. So you might not be able to tip very far, but it really does help work the core. Bring the arms straight forward. On the inhale, bring them up, and then bring them straight forward. Take them out to a 45 degree if you can. On the inhale, you're going to make an arch. So you get to the top of the arch, and then you exhale it down to the bottom on the other side at about a 45 degree. So by 45, I mean that's one way, that's the other, and if you come right into the middle of those two, that's a 45 degree. So inhale all the way up to the top of the rainbow arch, and then exhaling all the way down to the bottom. And you're at the beginning of that 45 degree. To make it tough, we're now going to see if we can take that further to the side, and you may or may not be able to, but go as far as you can. Inhale all the way up. This is taking a little work on those shoulders, and then bring them down to the side. So we got to get back to where we started from. Inhale all the way up, and then exhale back to the side. Bring those hands down to your lap, and maybe roll those shoulders to the back. That probably feels pretty good after that one. Okay, so gate pose. My knee is bent and facing straight forward. My other leg comes to the side. So you see how I'm scooching to the front of the chair? It's pretty hard to do this if you're sitting way back in the chair. So you got to be like at least halfway in your chair. And then you're trying to straighten out this leg. Now, if you have hip issues or anything like that, you may find it's better to have that foot more forward, or you may find it's better to have that knee somewhat bent. Okay, but really we're trying to get a bit of an opening in here. So whether you're here or back or the knee is bent, you're still getting some work done in there. So not to worry, if it doesn't look like this. So one hand is going to come down on this nice straight leg while the other hand lifts up. So, and I'm going to try and come over as far as I can go, still feeling comfortable. And then on my inhale, I'm going to lift it all the way up and bring it to shoulder height. Exhale while you're here. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale while you're here. Inhale as you lift back up, and then bring it to shoulder height. One more time. Exhale while you're here. Inhale, lifting up and over. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale and bring that arm down. Let's go to the other side. So you may find one side easier than the other, especially if you've had a hip surgery or you're waiting for a hip surgery. You just may very well wind up something more like that, and that's okay too. Okay, so we want to open up the rib cage, and that can happen whether your knee is bent here or not. We're opening up also in the pelvic region. So one hand comes down that back leg, the other one comes here. You're going to inhale all the way up and over. Exhale while you're here. Inhale up and to the shoulder height. Exhale while you're there. Inhale, lifting that arm up and over. Exhale while you're here. Inhale up and over and get to shoulder height and exhale. Last time, inhale up and over and exhale, coming back to shoulder height and bring that arm down. Okay, let's stand. Let's do our standing flow portion here. So I want to be working on the chair seat. I'm going to have my legs just a little bit apart. Normally we stand with them quite close together, but I'm going to take mine a little bit apart. I still want the ankles under the hips, and I still want my wrists underneath my shoulders, and if that's painful for you, you can go on your knuckles. That's fine too, so whichever you choose to do. Okay, so we want to do a cat-cow. So starting with an inhale, you kind of drop that belly, the tailbone tips to the ceiling, and you're looking forward as you feel the lungs. Now, if this bothers your lower back, then don't tilt the tailbone. Just keep it level, keep it straight. And then exhale, and you round the back right from the bottom of the skull to the tip of the tailbone, a big, big rounding. So let's try it one more time. Inhale, looking forward, careful of that lower back. Don't tilt up towards the ceiling if it's bothersome. And then exhale, round that back right from the tailbone to the neck. Come into a neutral spine. We want to do a bendy C. So it's an inhale, get a nice big inhale. And then on the exhale, you're just going to turn and look off to the left-hand side. Inhale forward. Exhale, turn to look off to the right-hand side. Inhale forward, and we'll do it again. Exhale off to the left. Inhale forward. Exhale off to the right. And inhale and just come to the front of your chair with your feet a little bit closer together, and we can stand. We want to come into Warrior Two. So Warrior Two is a bit of a chest opener, a pelvic opener. So I will bring my right foot forward closer to the chair. This leg is going to bend. That's going to be the bent knee one. And then you can hang on to your chair in order to move the other foot back. And did you see when I moved the back foot, I opened up those toes so that I've got the front knee pointing straight forward and the back knee foot pointing straight towards you, right? So I've got that 90-degree there. Warrior Two. You want to be careful of the lower back in this pose because we tend to concave the back. So you want to tilt that tailbone under you just to prevent that low back from getting sore or tired. The arms come up to shoulder height, and it is a chest opener, so you're actually going to bring those arms a slightly back position as you look forward over that forward hand, and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. From here we come into star. I'm just going to keep my feet where they are, except I'm going to pivot the front foot so that the toe is pointing out and the heel in, and I'm going to pivot on my toe of the back foot so my toe is pointing out and my heel is pointing in. So do you see how that is? So go ahead and get your feet where the toes point out and the heels point back. You want them in that position because we're going to be bending our knees, and they need to be in that position to keep your knees safe. Okay, so we start in star. That's where your arms are straight, well, they're not straight up, but they're at an angle, and as much of a reach as you can manage. Even imagine them being pulled apart, and that's our inhale. On our exhale, the hands come behind you. So this is what it looks like behind me. I've either got my hands together or they're just in airplane style. That's called airplane, like that. This is clasped together. So you can choose which one of those best suits you. It comes back behind and the knees bend. And then you come out of it and you reach for star. So inhale and exhale and inhale. Exhale. I want to do it one more time. Inhale and exhale. For some people, looking up is never a good idea. They get a bit dizzy or just have trouble with their balance. So of course you never have to look up if that's not going to work for you. I want to come into pyramid now because I really want to stretch out the hamstring on the front leg. So that back foot is just going to pivot so that I'm more on the heel. And my toes are pointing this way in 45. Before they were pointing out, now they're pointing in towards the body at 45. The front foot is going to point directly under the chair. So for some people, this might be too wide apart and you might have to hop in a little. So just get to where you're feeling really comfortable and grounded. Okay? And if it helps you, and we may as well, just reach for the chair seat. So when you get to the chair seat, you can do a couple of things. Your knee might be slightly bent, which means you won't feel the hamstring stretch. So somehow you have to be able to straighten that front leg. So maybe you have to lift yourself up to the back of the chair in order for that front leg to straighten. Maybe your feet are too far apart. Maybe you got to bring that back foot in for that front leg to straighten. Okay, so just find out what works. Try and get that leg as straight as you can. And then inhale wherever you are. On the exhale, you can bend those elbows and try and bring your head a little further down. And that makes the hamstring talk. Try not to have your head below your heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. You're in a pretty good position for warrior one. So let's bend that front knee. Keep that back foot right where it is. Lift your torso up, but you might have to make those hips parallel to the front of the chair. Almost 100% of the time, I have to do this, whether I'm doing my own personal yoga routine or teaching. I generally realize that my hips are not parallel to the chair, and so I put my hands on my hips and make it so. Then my arms come forward. All right, so inhale. The exhale, you've got warrior arms again. Inhale. Now we're going to add a little bit of a degree bend. So I'm going to take my warrior arms, but you see how I'm moving my torso also to come in about a 45 degree? And then inhale forward and exhale back. Bring your hands to your chair and your feet together. And you did it on one side, but we got the other side. So you might have thought you were almost done, but no, got a little more work to do. We're not quite done. So let's take it to this side. We start out right away in warrior two. Front foot points that way, the back foot points that way. And then I bend that front knee. Careful of the lower back, right? Tilt that tailbone down a little bit. The arms come out to shoulder height. Looking over that front shoulder, it's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. I want to come into star, so I'm going to pivot on my heel to get my toe pointed that way and my heel pointed in. I'm going to pivot on my toes, so my toes point on that, out that way, and my heels point in. Okay, everybody's got that. Toes out, heels in. And arms up for inhale. Take those same arms that you had before, either clasped or airplane, and bend the knees and come down for your exhale. So inhale, tall, think tall, and exhale. I don't know if you can hear my knees cracking. Inhale. Maybe you couldn't hear it over your own knees cracking. And exhale for 3. All right. From here, we want to come into that pyramid. So that back foot's going to pivot on the heel until the toes are pointed 45 degrees that way. Then the front foot is going to have the toes pointed forward. Just about guaranteed this might be too wide a stance for you, and you might have to bring that back foot in a little bit. Okay, reach for the chair, however you did it last time, and then inhale while you're up here. On the exhale, the back stays straight, the elbows bend, and you come down. Inhale, straighten those elbows. Make sure you keep the back straight and the front knee straight, and exhale down. So you can feel that pull in the back of your leg. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And from here, we want to come directly into that warrior 1. So I'm just going to bend that front knee. And, if your feet are kind of in line, you can take them apart so it's more like a railroad track to stabilize yourself. But you keep that 45 degree on that back foot. And the arms come forward. This time on the inhale, you come up. And on the exhale, you bring those arms forward. And I forgot to say, make sure your hips are parallel to the front of that chair. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. And exhale forward. And you can come out of that one. Okay, let's just do a little bit of time on balance because that's kind of important, right? So for balance, we're just going to lift the knee to the front. So it's going to be like this, okay? So grab onto your chair, find something that doesn't move ahead of you at about a 45 degree angle from your eyes to the floor, and lift that front knee straight ahead. If that's pretty good, see if you can get to your fingertips on the chair. And if that's pretty good, you're going to feel or try with that, lightning let go and grab, or maybe you can let go, or maybe you can stay on your fingertips. But whatever you do, you want to get to the point where you have to work at it. That's what we want. Just get to the hard work and stay at the hard work. And then bring it down. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever had music lessons or anything like that, but before you actually can play a song, it's hard work. It's practice, repeat, repeat, repeat. There is no difference in yoga. That's why it's called a yoga practice and not a yoga I've done it all, right? Okay, so I want to lift that other leg now. I'm going to put all my weight on the leg that's going to stay straight. And then my hand is going to hold on to the chair. I'm looking at about a 45 degree, and I'm going to lift the leg that I did not lift before. While I'm here, I'm going to get onto my fingertips. You might find one side easier than another. And maybe you can lift those fingertips off, and maybe you can't. Maybe you have to fight hard. That's good. That's where you want to be, where you're fighting for your balance. And release. Awesome. All right, so now I've reminded you all of how many hours you spent practicing piano, right? How many hours in your life? Okay, let's just, let's just have a knee hug. So you can either place your hands under your thigh and bring that knee up, or maybe you can wrap your arms all the way around there. Maybe you can get that nose to that knee. But wherever you get to, just go ahead and hold and inhale and exhale and put that foot down. So the other leg, you lift however you got to lift it. You wrap those arms around nice and tight and get it into a hold position, and inhale and exhale and put it down. Awesome. So a little bit of a stretching out of those hip joints. Let's also stretch, make sure that our T-band and gets a little bit of a stretch there, or sometimes people have trouble with their sciatica, so this is a good thing for them to do as well. Okay, I've crossed my right knee over my left. I'm going to take my left hand to the outside of my right knee. And I'm going to bring this hand around, but first I'm going to inhale really tall, like I'm going to grow an inch. I'm sure you just saw me grow an inch. And then I'll bring this hand behind me to the back of the chair, and I'm going to turn to look back. And I'm going to hold there and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Inhale and come forward. So just cross the other way. So now my left is over my right, my left knee, and it might look opposite to you. My right hand is coming to the outside of that left knee. I'm going to inhale and get nice and tall again. I swear I just went from 5'4" to 5'5". It's all good. And then as I exhale, I want to bring this other hand behind me, and I want to turn to try and get to the side or maybe even slightly behind. And then inhale, staying right where you are, just hold and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Inhale and look forward. Again, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Make sure you press like or share or subscribe or whatever so that it can get into the homes of those people who maybe can't get out, okay? And I think we've done it all today. I hope you can feel that without being too tired. And may your inner light shine for all to see. Namaste.